Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we have a brand new ship, a new Tier 7 ship, the Japanese Battleship Tier 7, the Amagi. And we're on Trident. And there's going to be a lot of interesting things happen in this match. Now, this was not the original video I had planned for you guys when I posted the thing yesterday. But I did get this ship, so we're going to do a little Meet the Amagi, and in the very first two matches that I had the Amagi yesterday, I put up almost 300,000 damage. So back-to-back 140, 150,000 damage games. And that's what I was planning on showing you guys for my Meet the Amagi. But then this happened this morning, and I kind of have to show you guys. Now, first question I know you guys are asking are, Spartan, how on earth do you have the Amagi already? Well, I'll answer that right after we go ahead and shoot at this broadside Iowa, who's totally not really paying attention, even though he is looking at us. And so we get two salvos off, front and rear guns, and first, not so much, and the second, not so much. Okay, that's okay. We did 5,800 damage, not the worst. But we take some rounds from this King George V. Now that's a pretty brave thing to do. And oh, hello Atlanta. How are you doing? Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and shoot at you, because screw you, Atlanta. Wait for it. He's going kind of slow, and now a destroyer has been spotted. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. Oh yes, I forgot. So, how on earth did I manage to get this ship already? Well, it's pretty straightforward and simple. I played a lot Saturday night. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. My goal was to raise a whole bunch of money and to use the Nagato to do it. Because that way I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm getting XP towards the Amagi, and I am getting money for the German lines that'll be coming through. And so, naturally, I realized, hey, I've almost got the Amagi already. I guess I'll just go ahead and finish off the Amagi grind. So I went ahead and finished off the Amagi grind. And so all of the money that I was saving up for the Germans disappeared. Because 18 million silver is not cheap. Darn it! Curse you, wargaming! Every time I think that I'm about to, have a plan for the next line that's coming out and all that stuff. Nope, sorry. Hey, I'm close to this ship. I should totally get it. And there goes all my credits. It's the way it goes, though. Always a grind. You gotta be grinding for something. So, we're playing pretty passive early on. And that's not gonna go well for our team. And some of you might blame me for this, and you're not necessarily wrong. It is kind of my fault here. I'm in a battleship. I'm in a very crunchy battleship. This thing is slowly becoming my favorite ship. Like, I love the Iowa. The Iowa is a sexy ship, don't get me wrong. But for just raw battleship goodness, the Amagi takes the cake so far. This thing is crunchy. It can take some damage, man. This thing can be put in the middle of a fight, broadside on, and somehow manage to survive. It does get citadeled, don't get me wrong. It does get citadeled. But the rate at which it citadels you versus it getting citadeled is going to be a lot higher. Or at least generally speaking. That's how it's worked for me so far. But you can see the Atlanta's out there on the corner of the island. I can't really shoot it. So I start looking at the King George, and we just get a little bit of a glimpse at him, and it looks like he's turning back towards the island, so we're just going to go ahead and try to drop a couple rounds over the island onto him, and just, touch him. And touch him we do. There goes almost 13,000 damage on him, and he gets finished very, very quickly. But Atlanta is begging for it. Now we've got a destroyer out to our right. We've got the other friendly Amagi to my left. And between the two of us, we are going to have some fantastic fun. And some interesting moments. Now, I know there are a few of you out there right now that are going, dude, if you say, one more time, I'm going to slap the crap out of you. But Never mind. Just leave it at that. Anyway, we've got the Atlanta. He's broadside on to 2 Amagis, and I can't see what that other battleship is. It's not a good place to be. And looks like there's the see, I catch myself doing it now. But not a whole lot I can do about it. We get the shots on the Atlanta. Are we gonna finish him off? Oh, we get a good hit on him, but we do not finish him. He's lucky. And he's turning broadside on again. You go broadside enough times, you're eventually going to get finished off. And those shots look good, and we do not get the kill. Really? What? How is that not the kill? You lucky duck. Oh well, we've got a Fletcher directly in front of us. Not a good thing. A lot of torpedoes on that Fletcher. A lot of good guns on that Fletcher. And we are about to approach the Fletcher from around a blind corner, and he knows we're coming. And there are 2 of us. That's going to limit our maneuverability, because we are going to sail into each other. And it's kind of my fault and his fault. His fault for just sailing in a straight line, not like actually trying to maneuver his ship. My fault for I need to turn into the center of the map. We talked about this in a video last week about when you realize your team is failing and you need to like make something happen. But we go ahead, we put the rounds over the top of the island and clutch it against the Fletcher. And we just catch the tail end of his ship. And this is about the time where I get on the thing and I'm like, really, dude? Appreciate that. You sailing in a straight line, don't bother turning. And about that time he gets on the thing and starts talking to me. And I'm like, oh, okay, well you got a mic. We can do this. And he gets on the mic and he goes, well, if you think we can pull it off, I guess we'll go with you. And at that point, my Scottish friend in the Amagi and I embark on one of the most epic runs that I've ever been a part of. So I hope you guys are ready. Things are about to heat up. Now, as you can see, they've got a pretty significant lead on us. They have 6 ships, we have 4 ships. That's a 2-ship lead, where I come from. And while we are shooting at the Iowa, we're not going to be able to shoot at that Iowa for very long because he's behind a mountain and we are getting closer, which means we cannot lob the shells over. But we just start steaming towards them. Now, they still have 1 destroyer out there. And thanks to a lot of communication from me and the other Amagi, the Stormwind here, we are going to be able to focus our fire very, very effectively. We're talking to one another, telling each other exactly where we're going to be aiming and exactly who we are going to be shooting. And we managed to have our destroyer cap C, which is a nice step, even though we are far, far and away from anywhere near the points to cap and win. So we have to make something happen. Luckily, the enemy just happens to just want to throw their game away. Now, it is 3 versus 6 now. It's just a destroyer and 2 Amagis versus the world. And the Iowa decides, I'm going to come out broadside. So he abruptly loses almost all of his health. And the Amagi behind me should be able to finish him off, and does. And now, it is a 3 versus 5. Starting to seem a little bit more doable, right? Now, about this time, I tell him that there is a destroyer detecting us. So be on the lookout. And sure enough, we managed to see the destroyer. I was about to shoot the Iowa, and I saw the Kagero, and we go ahead and start immediately targeting the Kagero. And he's telling me, don't go into the center, you're going to get torpedoed. I'm like, wait, I've got this. I've got the Kagero lit up, and there goes almost all of his health, and we are reloading. And he starts giggling a little bit because he can't believe I just managed to hit that shot. But I'm used to it. I don't have a choice. I don't usually run with a partner, so when and we are not partnered up. This was just a random battle. But I don't normally run with a partner, so I'm used to having to defend myself all the time. And even when I do run with a partner, I'm used to having to defend myself all the time. Because certain people don't like to defend me. Bullseye. But it's okay. We have a New Orleans, a Nolans, right out here. Broadside on to 2 Amagis. Well, let's see how that works out for you, Sunshine. First shot out. And we get a little touch. Didn't quite lead him enough. He's sailing kind of towards us. It was kind of a bad shot by me. But it's okay, because he's determined to make it a thing again. Oh, wait! We've got a Kagero, and we're about to be loaded. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2. He gets touched by the other Amagi. And can we finish him? Don't fumble the shot, Spartan. Looks good. And got him. We'll take it. That is the torpedoes out of the battle. Now, there is still a Miyoko out there. But I'm far less concerned about the Miyoko's torps because you'll probably see the Miyoko on his approach. You don't see the destroyers, usually, unless they screw up and start firing their guns. I'm not going to mention any names. But there's an Iowa sailing broadside on to 2 Amagis. What could possibly go wrong? Well, you're in an Iowa. And so we managed to get a couple penetrations there. Just absolutely chunk him. And we're keeping an eye on everybody. And as you can see, Nolans takes a shot at me with high explosive. So I immediately start aiming ahead. And this thing actually fires really quickly. And so we're just aiming ahead of him, knowing that he's going to turn to go around the island. We place the shot out ahead of him. Is he going to run into it? Are we going to get a citadel? And, yep. Goodbye, Nolans. Nice knowing you. And now it is a 2v3. 2 battleships versus 2 battleships and a torpedo cruiser. Well, I'm not one to brag, but I'm fairly confident at this point, after what we've already been through, that we're going to manage to pull this off. Now, we are still losing by points by considerable margin. All the enemy has to do is nothing. Hide, do nothing, and you win the match. But apparently they're slightly more concerned with losing the match, so they are doing the exact opposite of nothing. They're throwing their ships away. One at a time, while these 2 Amagis absolutely tee off on them. So we get a couple hits on the Iowa there. Not significant damage, but, you know, enough to at least keep him honest. And the other Amagi fires at him as well. And, hello, Miyoko! That was nice of you to start shooting like that. Appreciate that. Now, catch those rounds for me and disappear. Come on, David Copperfield, make it a thing. Oh, he gets away with it. Okay, fire the rear guns. Notice the interesting configuration of the guns. We got 2 turrets mounted forward, 3 mounted in the rear. Not necessarily the best as far as, you know, bow tanking goes. But when you do deliver a full broadside from this thing, it can be absolutely devastating. Now, this Iowa here, I'm not going to lie, he's played pretty well up to this point. He really has. He's staying bow tanking, but then for whatever reason, he decides, I need to get my rear guns involved. So he goes broadside on to 2 Amagis. Or at least he goes broadside to me. The other Amagi's kind of sailing away from me, so maybe he's not got as good an angle. But I'm sitting here looking at this guy, broadside in an Iowa, and I know what I got to do to citadel him. And unfortunately, he's sailing so slow that it's hard for me to get the shells to land where I want to. And I'm assuming at any point this guy's dead. But he just doesn't seem to die. He just keeps taking it. And I'm like, well, this is the strongest Iowa I've ever seen in my life. Every other Iowa I've managed to fire at, and now I'm broadside to him too, which is not preferable because he has 406mm guns, even though I have 410mm guns. We're both broadside on and both in very, very bad shape as far as potentially getting citadeled. Luckily, I reload relatively quick, and of course we citadel him then. Couldn't citadel him early, but as soon as we got a lot of his health out of there, we managed to citadel him. And now this fast fire rate's going to come in handy here. Now, we've got rid of all of the tier 7s. All that's left is that Miyoko and the Nagato. And the Nagato is broadside on, and of course gets 2 citadels right off the bat. And we go ahead and shoot the rear guns as well. And can we get some more citadels? No, but we get a couple penetrations, and just like that, he has lost all of his health. And the Amagi behind me finishes the Miyoko, which means all we have to do is kill the Nagato to complete the amazing comeback. And sure enough, when you're broadside on to an Amagi at 8.4 kilometers, you're going to get citadeled a lot. Goodbye, Nagato. Thanks for joining the party. Thank you guys if you were on the red team and throwing the match. I appreciate it. What do we end up with, guys? Oh, you know, just 177,000 damage, 5 kills for the Kraken Unleashed, bringing in over 3,000 base XP. Not bad at all. We also managed to get a Kraken Unleashed, a Confederate medal, a high caliber medal, and a Devastating Strike, I believe. I think that was all my medals. It's hard to mention when you get like 4 medals right off the bat. So if you like... No, it was Dreadnought. It was high caliber Dreadnought, Kraken Unleashed, and a Confederate. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.